Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Good to have you here, wherever today may find you. Yeah, hopefully you're not sick of me. I swear this is the last time I'm going to stream today, okay? I swear. All right? But this is why I'm wearing this shirt today, because I'm actually going to get into some Retrowave, Synthwave, maybe Vaporwave, which is actually technically different. Or outrun graphics, which is based on a game, but basically we're going to make some 80s graphics. So again, we're going to take elements that we designed earlier in our design masterclass, bring them into Photoshop, and make something really amazing. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully that works for you. It's hard to find a fun shirt without green, because green would actually just show the background like right through me. But let's go ahead and get this party started, shall we? Let's get this party started. Turning off a number of layers and taking a look. There we go. Switching over now. Boom. I just did a quick search. Retrowave graphics. It's all this stuff. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. Let's do this. Right? I love this, like Synthwave. Like they all make sounds. Look at that. Look at this. This was so hot. I guess it was hot in the 80s. I don't know. I wasn't even born yet. Just kidding. Of course I was. But I'm digging this. Like, look at this. This is really cool. So we can take inspiration from all the stuff that we see. Look at this. Gorgeous background. We're already doing this in Illustrator. Super easy to do. Yes, Frank, James White vibe. Love James White. If you guys aren't familiar with James White from, come on. He's from, I know Canada. Gosh. Nova Scotia. I forget where he lives exactly, but that would be weird artist. Weird if I knew his there we go. Signal noise. Weird if I knew his address or whatever. Look at this outrun graphics. Oh, totally into it. Right? So again, we're going to have some fun today. Hopefully that's okay. Yeah, you guys get it. It's called Synthwave because the synthesizers, right? But it's like all this Retrowave stuff. So this will be really fun. And there's a number of things we can do. We could take elements that we've been using, by the way. I got a ton in here, just like a lot that I've downloaded that we can play with. Because if you remember, we actually like used this the other day. These hands, where we kind of made some metallic. So I think this will be a fun element to add. So we'll just call this hands. And this is also a shout out to the Daily Creative Challenges, because we actually already did this 2 days ago. It was part of this like metallic prismatic. So it all starts getting tied together. Like if you work, if you're doing any Daily Creative Challenges, like it's all connected, right? So I'm totally into that. That's what I can eventually use. So that's looking kind of cool. Yeah? But it's just going to go in the background. Just a background element, right? I'll probably use, like I have this lady that I might end up using, right? And then I also have this one right here. So she's looking pretty cool. It already has an 80s vibe. So that's why I'm concerned about using this. But I'm totally into the colors. So I could show you how to make this image look like this image, but at the end of the day, I'm probably going to use this image, okay? And I'm also going to use dimensions. You're right. I was going to, he's on Big Sur. Okay. Oh, yeah. So anyways, right in here. So yeah, I'm going to use probably, I think I'll use Adobe Dimension, because what you saw out there with all that Retrowave art is a lot of metallic, right? So we could easily do that rather than trying to, create this text. And I can make the text like 3D in Photoshop. I'd rather do something a little bit more realistic in dimension, just so you know. So, in fact, we'll go starter assets. Let's go in here. Boom. Text. And I know this is a 80s. Scale it up. Drop it down. I know this is a Photoshop. There we go. Drop that on there. And now we have our metallic. I know this is a Photoshop stream, but we also don't have a dimension stream. So like, when else am I going to talk about this? Scrolling down here, we could see these studio lights. So I'd drop some of those in there. Boom. Let's take this text. Let's give it a bevel. Bam. Did you guys know you guys could do this? Let me move my big honking head. Maybe over here. Okay. Just giving this a little bit of a bevel. There we have it, right? Let's fit this. Let's take this, rotate this around, and there we have sort of the start of something cool, right? And I haven't even like played with the font yet. Oh, I'm glad you guys like this stuff. Okay, what would I call this? I'm thinking of some cool phrases, and I want to have some type in there. I want to have the this type of type as well, like this sort of text. I want to have the shiny text. So this shiny text is I'm probably going to make it in dimension, right? Ooh, a bridge masterclass. I don't know what that would look like. I think that masterclass would only be like 20 minutes long. I don't know. I'm loving this. Let's take this for inspiration. Again, this is just for inspiration, right? Personally, I want something that's like a little bit more, I'm going to try to make something pretty high-end and reflective, and I'm going to try to not make it flat. And I might add a skull in here, to be honest with you. Okay, so let's do this. Jump in here. This is what I was going to mention first. This lovely lady here. What do? I always do this. Remove background. Shablam, shablam. There it is. Look at that. And I'm just picking some gradients in the background just so you could see. Look at how well it did. Can we just marvel at this for a second? Look at this. And let me move my big honking head over. Just look at this. Look at this. Come on now. Crisp. Come on, look at that. I did that all just by clicking one button. Because what's happening here is Adobe Sensei is working in the background. It recognizes people, so it recognizes hair on somebody's head, and then we'll go ahead and key out appropriately. Right? We can always double click on that, dive into select and mask, use our refine edge tool, grab more or less, like I'm doing right now. Typically you want to click out and then drag in, right? Because you're sampling the background. You're saying this is the background, and then grab some more of her hair. But man, that's so good. I'm amazed. I am amazed. Smart object. Levels. Adjusting the contrast. Like so. Let's grab a cool circle. Let's throw a cool circle in the background. Man, I really wish I had some 80s music. She looks a bit like Sinead O'Connor. What I was looking for is like just somebody kind of being like a punk rock girl is what I was going for. Let's fill it. Sure, that works. There's our background. There she is inside of it. Scale her up. And then I can start painting. But let's do this. Command click on a layer will select all those pixels. Then just go to your new layer and then mask it. And now she's kind of clipped inside of there, looking really cool, right? Maybe a little bit too much brightness, contrast, or excuse me, levels going on there. All right, look at that. It's a little much. That's okay. We can always double click and change. A day full of masterclasses, by the way. I think Jason is going to be up next, and he's going to be doing something cool that I'm going to be like, yeah, I need to stick around for that. Editing with transitions, native, Mogert's, third party. Wow, into it. Daily Creative Challenge, inning. Ooh. Howard has his masterclass, and then Kyle Webster's going to be talking about sort of working from big to small when it comes to drawing. So you block in your big elements and then get more detailed, which is just awesome, right? That's kind of what we need to do here as well. Be working from sort of big to small. So if we want to splash some color on her, I'll jump out, make a new layer, sample. In fact, let's rotate this. Let's change this fill to something like this. Now, we will double click. We'll rotate it, something kind of like that. So basically I want one color on one side and another on the other side. Sample B. Oh yeah, we're just looking for the most 80s colors possible, right? And then we can start painting on just like a splash of this, taking this flow down. A splash of that background color, like on her neck, on her hair, just like so. Okay. And not just going around the edges, but trying to figure out where the light is coming from. Like it should kind of splash, maybe kind of around her neck like that. I don't know. Something we'll have to play with. From there, we can jump into the different blend modes. Let's clip it first. Shabam. Then we have pinks. There are plenty of Synthwave radios on YouTube, 24/7 on air. Oh, that's so cool. Into it, Marcus. The only thing is, like, I need permission to play that stuff. I trust me, I would get a notice saying, hey, you use this without permission. And I should have asked ahead of time, but nonetheless, let's kind of roll through. We can see what all these do, right? Chances are I'm going to end up with an overlay or soft light, but as we kind of take a look, hard light does a lot of awesome work. Vivid light. Let's paint the other side though too, because we need to throw some purple in there. Excuse me, not purple, blue. Let's throw some blue on this side. Okay, now what I want to do, this looks okay. Let's take this, let's add, make this black and white. There's a couple different ways we can do this, like with everything. I was thinking about making this black and white. Here's another way to do this that I'm just thinking about now, okay? Which would be shifting the colors. But anyways, let's just change this to black and white. There we go. We now have her as black and white, and we can see that color come through. That looks better already. Change this. Cool. Super VHS. Yeah. Good stuff. Love it. Cheers. All right. This still has too much of a crisp look to it, which we can change. Okay. Of course we want to change this. It needs so many things. I don't even know where to begin. Do you guys want to do like the VHS lines? That's one thing we can do. We could do that with individual lines, or what we can do is take a new layer, render clouds. Clouds is going to take those two, my foreground and background color, and make clouds out of it. Right? So it just took those foreground and background colors, there they are. Boom, boom. Okay, now I want to turn this into lines. Let's go to blur, and let's just do a motion blur. And there we can crank that up again to almost 200 or 2000, is that it? Let's do levels on this. Still needs to be more intense, so I can always add another motion blur like that. And oops, I can add that a couple more times. But I'm just kind of creating an effect right here. We have some fun movement. It's not quite what I want because, let's turn this into a smart object, doesn't quite have those lines, right? Gets us part of the way there, but it gives me like an abstractness that I like. So let's go to filter. Now we're going to go to filter gallery. In filter gallery, yeah, there's a number of these. We have Chrome. We've used that before, right? Look what it starts to do with these lines. This gives me something more interesting to work with, right? Let's check out halftone pattern, right? Halftone pattern will give us the little dots. Come on, which is super cool. These are actually little dots. Oh, excuse me. That's actually circle. Sorry about it. Let me zoom out. Let me show you what circle looks like. Circle radiates from the center. Right, so there's actually a center point for this circle, and you can see the lines pointing to it. It's very hard to tell. Dots are going to give you the little dots, right? We can see that. But as we take this down, we can see line. Perfect, there's our lines, right? We can make these lines bigger and give them more contrast, right? So this is what I want, that kind of waviness. Let's make the size even bigger, especially in relation to our image. Right, so that's what I want. Halftone pattern, select line. Just type the letter. Yeah. Click OK, there's our lines. Let's look at our lines. Make them black and white. Throwing some levels on there. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to rasterize this layer. All right, you ready for this? So sorry. So now I have my lines. They're black and they're white. So I can keep the dark layers, or I can keep the light layers. Right? Overlay does a little bit of both, right? And then let's take that to say soft light. That gives us some interesting looks. All right, what is this 80th back in 82 to 83? So anyways, we have all these lines. We could just keep either the black lines or the white lines. Okay, so let's just take this. Rather than just changing this to soft light, what you can do is like, let's just jump this layer. We'll go to our channels panel. We'll hold down the command key and we'll click on the RGB channel right there. And that, as you can see, selects just the, should just select the blacks. Either way, you could always invert it, but that's what I want. So now I can go here and you know what, click. There we are. Now we just have those white lines. Or I can invert that and now we just have the black lines, right? So there we go. We have these lines that I can play with all day long. Yeah, does that look kind of cool? You guys tell me. I want to do more with this. I desperately want to do more with this. We can clip this. Put everything in a new layer group. Clip it just inside there. And that's, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I guess I'm into stripes. Yeah, so I don't know what you guys think. I would rather make this, let's just go ahead and make this a smart object. You could always protect things by turning it into a smart object. Now all that stuff is protected, okay? But I could also offset it or get rid of. So there, I might want to grab some bars, like just draw some selections out, and then maybe you just get rid of it in places. Thin, thick, thin. Maybe what I want to do, actually, you ready for this? Maybe I want her to actually be offset. I think that would be more interesting. So let's take this lovely lady, convert her to a smart object, right? So this is our model. I'm going to duplicate that model. I'll show you in a second. Let's turn that off. Okay, so I have all these bars. Here I have her on top. And I can kind of clip her inside of there. So we have the one in the front and the one in the back. And then I can also actually offset her. So that's what I'm doing. I want this offset look because I think that will look pretty cool, right? When really what I need to do is make that a layer mask and then just get rid of that. There we go. It's simpler. I've made this offset look. Command J. Delete layer mask. We do it the other way as well. Grab some pixels. Okay, she's offset one way. Now we will offset her the other way, right? So now we have a couple things going on. Oh, good. I'm glad you like where we're going with this. We could, so we have this VHS sort of noise. Oops, this one. Which we could kind of take down because it's a little too much, right? Just give it a little bit of texture. But we could also offset the color channels, right? So rather than offsetting the whole image, we want to offset the color channels. In fact, let's see what we can do with just this first offset. So now notice how it's like offset that direction, right? But let's not offset the whole image. Let's just offset one channel. So double click on that layer to dive into that layer style. Right in here, we can turn off red, we can turn off turn off green, turn off blue, and now we get this these sort of bars kind of cutting across. Does that make sense? All right, and just play with these. See what works. I kind of like the green and the blue. Like that looks cool. All right, so it doesn't distort the image so much. We'll turn on this other layer. And there we have it, that glitch. Just a glitch effect. See what this one does? See this move? Right, we're just offsetting that. So now she's a little bit easier to see. All right, let's do some type. I want to add some type in here. I want to play with depth. All right, I'm going to get rid of this layer mask. Paint a little bit more on our shoulder. Down here. Okay, so I just got rid of that circle. She needs to cover sort of more of this area. All right. You could make a little animation as well. Oh, for sure. All right, man, I'm already 30 minutes in. You guys get the idea. I still need that effect on the whole background, so let's unclip that. There we go, it's on the whole background. We could bring in our other elements from Illustrator. Right, remember this is exactly where we left off earlier today. Look at this, remember I did We Own the Sky? Oh, sweet, man. I really want to take, I don't know, like this grid thing. Let's take this grid. And we'll just try a couple of these elements. All right. Hello, Arsalan and everyone. So I've copied that. We'll go into Photoshop, paste this in as a, it could be a smart object, could be a shape layer. What I'm going to do before I do all that is I'm going to make sure that there's nothing else attached to this. And these are just lines, right? I could have swore I added a blur to this. But I guess I didn't. Oh yeah, there it is. There we go. So there was a blur in there. I don't want to use that blur. I would add the blur in Photoshop. Now I'm going to take this. This is purely just the vector object. Right? When we go into Photoshop, we could paste this as a smart object if we want to. If we want to sort of change it back in Illustrator, or we could actually just paste it as a vector shape. Let's do that. Down there, like so. Behind her. How's everyone doing? Let's make it glow. Make it glow. got it. We're making some money moves. Happy Friday, Michelle. How the heck are you? Let's add some cool type. Steve, anyone, somebody, talk to me. Like, tell me how cool this font is. Look at this. Found this. It's called Road Rage. Very much outrun-ish. It's not an Adobe font, but it's free out there. So just search for Road Rage font. But look at how cool is this. All right, so what shall... I want something cool. I need a cool 80s phrase or some cool phrase. Like Miami Heat. I like the word heat. Night. I don't know. Night, heat, something. But my plan was to do like something like this. Maybe. Street heat. Yeah, like that way. That's cool. Night vibes. Okay, vibes is a good word. All right, so vibes, we're gonna do that in Dimension. Jump back over here. Night vibes. Oh yeah. This happens a lot when you're typing in Dimension. You're like, oh, I can't fit it. The line's too long. Right up here, this magic little button. Fit it within the current view. Right, just like so. We can rotate that around. Zoop. Like that. Your camera is right here, so if you want it to be exact, zero these out. Take that to 0. Right? And let's make sure we tilt this. Something like that. Let's change the font too. Airwolf. Ah, come on, let's get some nostalgia going. Airwolf. Ah. I haven't heard those words in ages. Because that's a movie, right? It's like Airwolf. Yeah, Airwolf. I think that was with Clint Eastwood? I could be wrong. Okay, so now we need to find a cool retro font. And we're looking for something kind of like that. Very angular. You guys know? Okay, good. Airwolf. It was a series. There were two movies about like fighter planes that kind of came out around the same time. Airwolf. Oh, I love it. Forget Knight Rider. I want Airwolf. Alrighty. Ooh, kind of into this. Center it. Position. Let's go 0. There we go. What other? Blue Thunder. Oh man, I want to Google all this stuff. Let's fit it. We actually don't want the shadow, so we'll go to ground plane and we'll just turn that off. Okay, go back to our text. Right now we just did a simple classic bevel, but you can get a little bit more creative, get maybe some more interesting lighting effects. I don't know, let's just try some of this. This rounded outline, maybe Oh, classic outline. And let's be aware of the different lights. So we could throw another circular light in here, right? Make it pink. Throw another one on this side. Remember, these are directional lights, so we'll see them change as I rotate it. There we go. So get a splash of color over there. Change that to something like that. All right, everyone. Man, time is flying by. I gotta hurry. Take the height down, rotate it. Increase the intensity of that environment light. All right, what do you guys think of the font? Ottoman, I do not remember. Ottoman, Street Hawk. Ah, you guys are killing me. I gotta Google this stuff. Street Hawk. Ah, love it. Show? Was it a show or a movie? Oh yeah, look at this. Man, you guys are bringing back some memories. But these are the vibes. These are the vibes. Look at that Street Hawk. Ah, look at it. Looks like an electric bike. Very cool. Thank you so much for that. Awesome. Okay, you guys seem to like the fonts. I think this will work. I will go ahead and render it. So we'll save this. I would typically just call this text because I could change it anytime. My words might change, but the file won't. You have to save the file before you render. Let's just go ahead and render out this text. And then we'll drop it into Photoshop once that's done. Night vibes. This could use so much lighting and different things. For sure. The background is what I'm noticing just like lacks any sort of depth. Come on, Paul. Fix it. Fix it. Alrighty. Go Gadget. Oh yeah, Inspector Gadget. Thank you for that. Wade, oh, I love it so much. All right, let me save my file. A couple different directions I want to go. I think there needs to be like more elements in here. I think a common element in a lot of these is like, I don't know, let's take a look. Palm trees and mountains and cities. Right? Let's do that. Let's get this party going, or let's continue this. So night vibes, we actually need a nighttime scene. So let's just do a city. See if I have anything in here. City skyline. Yeah, I do. This is from Adobe stock. Let's do, I think very much like Miami would be able. Let's just take LA. LA, let's like marry LA with Chicago, with New York. Yeah. Basically, I just want a long, like, sort of line of sort of city buildings. That came from Adobe stock. Obviously, like, I get so many cities just for like one credit, which I like. There we go. Boom. All right, how you guys doing? What other shows? Do you guys remember Mask? I know we're getting into animation, but somebody mentioned Autobots, I think, or something like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember Mask over Transformers. Color overlay. Oh yeah. By the way, if you guys get a chance, go listen to Gunship. It's like it's literally what's playing in my head right now. Gunship. Night vibes. You know what? This is starting to look like a DJ like cover of a Vegas. Looks like a Vegas flyer. This is starting to look like a Vegas flyer. Jason the Wheeled Warriors. Don't talk to me about Masters of the Universe. What do you think's in my background over there? Don't get me started. Okay, so let's see if our rendering's done. Oh, there it is. Vibes. Cool. With each render, you get the selection channels, right? So I'm going to select the object. Come in here. Boom. Let's invert that. Actually, why am I even worried about selecting it? I'm so silly. I don't need that. I just grab this. I have the rendered image right here. Boom. Not quite the same size, but this file is absolutely massive. Didn't find anything I could use the hands for. There we go. But let's do vibes, smart object, transform it. Yeah, it's it's looking too much like a Vegas flyer. Yeah, Ryan Benoit. No kidding. Can we... By the way, Ryan, it's interesting. There's the comic books that came with He-Man, which are actually different than the 80s Filmation storyline. Like the original He-Man, he was just like a barbarian running around. And then he was gifted a bunch of sort of a magical belt and shield and sword. I don't know. Star Blazers. Oh, I wonder what Star Blazers is. Sometimes shows vary from, obviously, from country to country. Right now I'm having a little bit of a problem with the reads of all of this. And I actually want to get rid of her. Right? This, by eliminating her, this already looks better. Night vibes. Oh, Gunship has an app as well. Go watch the music video for Wheel in the Sky. Be like, yeah, that is cool. All right, so we got a little retro action going. I have her as well, right? It's going to do something similar here. Go to properties, remove the background. She's going to fit just fine. It looks very Vegas. So yeah, we have her. Another thing I was going to add is maybe this needs like a palm tree or something. So we can always go into our shapes. Sure enough, in our shapes, we have palm trees. All right. Norton Commander. Windows Commander. I do not. All right, welcome from Pakistan. Looks like, yes, good to have you here. I do not know how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. It looks like all the characters are throwing me off. I don't know if they're rendering correctly. Jan Eric, looks like we got some opinions about Ready Player One. And you read the book. That's fascinating. So palm tree, I want to distort this. We'll use warp. Shoop. Might as well say Miami vibes. Boom. Oh, Biola, you wanted trees, you got trees. I like how we have these flat elements that exist on this sort of like digital plane. I could easily see a car in here. But again, I don't have a lot of time, so I have another 5-ish minutes. Ooh, let's do a boat. Maybe, maybe not. This might not work. Yeah, I don't think this is helping us much, is it? In proportion to the trees, this boat's like way off, and that's kind of bothering me. Oh yeah, so maybe it needs to be one of these smaller boats. Ooh, a yacht. Here we go. This will fit much better. Oh yeah, this might as well say Miami vibes. Oh, are you hearing white noise in the background? Let me know. Maybe it's the music? Let's change the music. All right, what else can we do to this to make it awesome, huh? Put this in front. And that's kind of what it needs. It needs maybe this whole thing. Let's take this whole thing and we're going to shift the channels, just like we did with that one girl, because right now it's looking a little bit, yeah, looks okay. Miami, is that how we say your name? Oh, reflections could be good. Oh, reflections are fun. It's weird that we see this full circle. That's kind of odd. Right? It should actually be cut off. So let's do that. But let's take this whole thing and just kind of do some color magic with it. So I'm going to take everything. I don't know how you guys do this. I'm just going to copy, merged, paste. So now we have all the layers in this sort of, you know, one layer. Let's try this. Command J. And let's offset this. Ready? Boom, 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 boom. So we have this offset a touch. Let's just turn off that. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. So this is the new one. Just kind of like give it a little of that. I forget what you call it. A little bit of that magic. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I love this vibrating craziness. Heck, let's go nuts. Let's merge these layers. And throw on some noise. Oh, here's another way to do noise, actually. Let's create a new layer. Hold down the Option key. Click to add a new layer. We will change this to color dodge. Actually, let's see. Screen. Screen. Soft light. Okay, pick soft light. It's going to fill it with the soft neutral color, right? This is what it looks like, right? Nonetheless, let's go into pixelate. Oh, excuse me, noise. Let's add some noise to it. There's no time, Paul. There's our noise. Let's make it a little more extreme so we can all see it. And then we can change this back to soft light. There we are. All right, so that's all we wanted. Give it some texture. You get the idea. Yeah, it's all right. You know what? Let's not forget about Our Lady that we were working on. If I could fit her into this somehow, I will. Right? But, you know, I'll work on it. Cool. Maybe she needs to go in the background. Thanks so much for watching. I had a lot of fun working on this sort of retrowave stuff. Maybe she goes back there. Maybe give it a little bit more breathing room. Maybe bring down this text. A number of things I need to do, but you get the idea. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys, each and every one of you. Chris and Kelly and Fabio. Whatever I end up with, I will end up posting to Instagram. So let me get this ironed out, and thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for the one and only Jason Levine as we learn Mogerts, transitions, all the things that you need to do regardless of what amount of video editing you do as well. Cool. Oh yeah. Got my 80s shirt on and everything. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Appreciate you. And we will see you guys soon. Thanks so much.